Hello, welcome to Storyline. My name is Kofo Kadri, and joining me today is my friend, T. T, you want to say hello to the people?
Hi everyone. It's nice to be here on third line.
Yeah, you know what we do on Storyline. We, speak on personalities from the Bible. Knowing behind every personality, there's a story to tell, and there are lessons to be learned. So T is joining me today, and we're speaking on careless Jephthah. Jephthah. Who is Jephthah? And the story of Jephthah can actually be found in Judges 11. It's actually a very short one. So today we'll be in and out. In it, T.
Yeah, exactly.
In and out. Then so, so see, let's dive into the story of Jephthah. And verse 1, we see so story of Jephthah can be found in Judges 11. And in this verse 1, we see Jephthah being, it says Jephthah of Gilead was a great warrior. He was the son of Gilead, but his mother was a prostitute. The second verse says Gilead's wife also had several sons. And when these half brothers grew up, they chased Jephthah off the land. You will not get any of our father's inheritance, they said, for you are the son of a prostitute. So Jephthah fled from his brothers and lived in the land of Tob. Soon he had a band of worthless rebels following him. See, what do you think of Jephthah, his upbringing, and the stigma that was following him around? With this, with what because of his mother being a prostitute, this guy was sent out of his father's house, out of the land, and no inheritance from his father. So basically, he was like a bastard. I don't know if you watch Game of Thrones. This is this is this is Jon Snow right here. See what he said?
I think very interesting introduction to Jephthah is that you can see the two contrasts. Is Jephthah, the great warrior, but
His
his
mother was a
mother
prostitute.
is a
Mm,
prostitute. I think it's just interesting because that but his mother is a prostitute. Talks about again who God is actually deciding to choose to as a judge is that
to
there's
use.
always a but. There's a but. It's not like David that came from this. Sorry, not David, but no, people who come from this bloodline
From
where
wealthy
like
Solomon coming
Saul.
from David.
When Saul was introduced, they talked about Saul being heads and shoulder above everyone,
Yeah,
being this handsome
son of
king.
Kish.
But yeah, yeah, but in this situation, we're talking about he was a great warrior. There's a bot to him. Notice up front that there's a bot there, but God is able to use this person despite being being born of a prostitute, despite being sent out to figure things out on his own. Yeah, that's the instruction we get of
And
Jephthah.
we also see how he was treated because of his butt. How he was treated, how his half brothers chased him not just out of the house, not just denied him his rightful inheritance, but he was also chased off the land. So it's one thing to be chased out of the house, and it's another thing to be chased, to be banished from the land, all because of your butt. And in all this but, then the Lord is just his ways are not our ways. And the Lord sees the need to use this same guy with this big butt hanging over his head. Recently we spoke on Gideon T, and we're able to see that this guy is one of the person with the most with no self-esteem, no self-esteem at all. And how the Lord was able to give him all the assurances, Gideon. And now we see what the Lord is trying to do in Jephthah. Let's go on. And it says at about that time, the Ammonites began their war against Israel. So there was war coming against Israel, and Israel was scared, and they knew Jephthah. He had the following where he was. I think he was away from the land. He had this a band of worthless rebels following him, and they already knew him to be a strong guy. Now, when the elders of Israel comes to Jephthah and be like, oh, please come be a ruler, all because a man did not stay down because people put him down. He went about his life, um, doing what he could do. Imagine if because of the bot on his life, and Jephthah had just gone to lead a quiet life and just stay one place and say, "Oh, because my mother is a prostitute, oh, nobody's going to listen to me." No, this guy, right where he was, people were following him. A band of though the Bible calls them worthless. I do not know why worthless, but a gang of rebels. At least they saw him to be something for them to actually follow him. So this was what Israel saw, and they go chapter 7 says, the elder said, "Come on, be our commander, help us fight the Ammonites." They needed someone strong like Jephthah. So Jephthah was not only strong in strength, it was also strong in mentality. Because if we're not strong in mentality, the whole issue of, oh, my mother was a prostitute, will have drained him and brought him down. So they saw the traits, the elders of Israel saw the traits in him, and they saw that this guy was worthy to be a leader. And it was approached, and they were like, "Oh, how dare you guys? It was you same people that drove me from my father's house. Why do you come to me now when you're in trouble?" They say, "Because we need you." The others replied, "If you lead us in battle against the Ammonites, we will make you ruler over all the people of Gilead." That's verse 8. Jephthah said to the elders, "Let me get this straight. If I come with you and if the Lord gives me victory over the Ammonites, will you really make me ruler over all the people?" "The Lord is our witness," the elders replied. "We promise to do whatever you say." So Jephthah went with them, and in the presence of the Lord, they ordained. Well, I want to say ordained. They made Jephthah the ruler of Israel. And Jephthah goes on goes on challenging the Ammonite king, in a dialogue, saying, "What do you guys think? Why are you challenging Israel's land? Israel has not stolen this land from you." So Jephthah saying, verse 15, this is what Jephthah says: "Israel did not steal any land from Moab or Ammon." When the people of Israel arrived at Kadesh, giving an explanation to everything that happened between, Israel crossing Egypt after crossing the Red Sea, how messengers were sent to the king of Edom, and all, just providing a dialogue, providing an explanation that, "Oh, guys, why are you trying to fight Israel?" And it takes a courageous man to actually stand up to the Ammonites that a whole country of Israelites could not actually stand up to. So we can tell the kind of courage this guy had, this Jephthah had. Then we see it, and so verse 26 is saying, Israel has been living here for 300 years, inhabiting Eshbon and the surrounding settlements, all the way to Ara and the settlement, and all the towns along the Ammon River. Why have you made no effort to recover it before now? Therefore, I have not sinned against you. Rather, you have wronged me by attacking me. Me in that stead means Israel attacking his people. He said, "Let the Lord, who is judge, decide today which of us is right, Israel or Ammon." But the king of Ammon paid no attention to Jephthah's message. Now let's dive into chapter 29. Chapter 29 says, "At that time, the Spirit of the Lord came upon Jephthah, and he went throughout the land of Gilead and Manasseh, including Mizpah in Gilead. And from there, he led an army against the Ammonites." Now, look at this chapter. In this chapter, when I was reading, there's a comparison there. And when we're doing Gideon, the Bible said the power of the Lord came upon Gideon. The spirit, I think it was the power of Lord came upon Gideon. And it was the same time when Gideon needed to blow the ram to summon the soldiers. And it was exactly the same thing here. At that time, the Spirit of the Lord came upon Jephthah, and he went throughout the land of Gilead. What was he doing throughout the land of Gilead, Manasseh, including Mizpah in Gilead? He was rounding up soldiers. So this guy rounds up soldiers, getting ready for an all-out battle against the Ammonites. 30 says, and Jephthah made a vow to the Lord. He said, "If you give me victory over the Ammonites, I will give to the Lord whatever comes out of my house to meet me when I return in triumph. I will sacrifice it as a burnt offering." Burnt offering. See, what was going on with Jephthah in this place? I think to some extent, this guy knew it was a human being he was talking about.
Yeah. It wasn't a cow that was going to come and get him. Uh, dog. Maybe I'd hoped that it was a slave,
The
or
slave.
something. Yeah. But again, I think for me, it's not confusing. It's just interesting. It's not confusing. It's that, look at it. You know, one could give a an explanation, a viable explanation, that the Israelites just as lost touch. They just didn't know what they were doing. They just didn't know about God. They had, again, before Judges, before we read about before, like, if we read very earlier in Judges 1, you one thing that they failed to do was to drive the Edens, drive the Midianites, the Ammonites, drive all of them out completely. Is that most of those tribes began to settle, and then they began to take the culture of those places, the gods there, the child sacrifices, because those were the things that were abhorrent, that God Himself abhorred, that He hated, and told them,
Don't do it.
don't don't mix with them, don't acclimatize, don't sorry, not acclimatize, don't assimilate the culture. No,
Mm,
drive them, kill them, just erase it, because
mm,
those people were worshiping other gods, doing child sacrifice and all of that. And then Israel just, and so they had this dual, like I said, duplicity of mindset, where you can't say Jephthah did not know, because look at his response to the king of Ammon. It's like he knows what happened when Israelites were making their journey in the wilderness and went through those places. He knew. That means that must have been passed on. But also, in making that promise, he doesn't know the person of God. Is that God would now ask for a burnt sacrifice
mm.
of a person, and God does not even need that for Him to
Could have just
even
thank
win the
God
battle.
and move on.
God is the one who has, yeah. And so is knowing but not knowing, and that's the problem of when you find yourself assimilating a culture. Is that for myself, is that once you're assimilating the world culture, is that, again, God will still speak to you, is what is still present, and so but sometimes in the way we live almost so worldly that we know we're going to not God's word, but our way of life is almost so worldly that we know but still don't know.
Mm. And this guy goes on. Verse 31 says, "I'll give to the Lord whatever comes out of my house to meet me when I return in triumph. I will sacrifice it as a burnt offering." Burnt off. What am I calling offerings? Offering. So Jephthah led his army against the Ammonites, and the Lord gave him victory. He caused the Ammonites, devastating about 20 towns from Ara to an area near Minit, and as far as the rest, Abel Karamin. In this way, Israel defeated the Ammonites. When Jephthah returned home to Mizpah, his daughter came out to meet him, playing on a tambourine and dancing for joy. She was his one and only child. He had no other sons or daughters. When he saw her, he tore his clothes in anguish. You could have just imagined the despair, the anguish this guy was going through, tearing his clothes. Like, oh my God, my one and only child. His one and only child. Oh, my daughter, he cried out. You have completely destroyed me. You have brought disaster on me, for I've made a vow to the Lord, and I cannot take it back. Credit to Jephthah. A man that honors his vow to God. Credits.
Yeah, yeah. Which is another thing is also thinking that could Jephthah had taken back his word? Why did he decide to still person?
What I saw
I've
there
asked
was
myself that.
what I saw there was even if he tried to, he could not have taken back that word because that was the time of the law. That was the Old Testament.
Oh yeah, but I can give you a scenario from the Old Testament as well, from David and Saul. Sorry, not David, Saul and Jonathan. And so there was a
Oh, when they
time.
were in the forest together, when they were in the forest together, and they were trying to fight, and but when they were talking about food or
And
something like
Jonathan
that.
went to live on him. Yes.
Yeah.
And Saul had sworn that anyone who ate what was going to die. Though it's different because I'm not sure if that was like, but again in that sense because they actually cast a lot and he fell on Jonathan, and Saul was like, "You are going to die," and then the people was like, "No, what has he done that he deserves death? Is that he saved us in being refreshed? That is an unjust law." And I think is this Saint Augustine that says any law. I can't remember the word, but an unjust law is no law at all. Is that number one? You've made a mistake. It's almost like what's the name of this guy? Herod the Great. After he had given a promise, he had given his word that I'll give you up to the start of my kingdom, and then the person says, I want John said, do you not get to a point where you're like, this is completely faulty. We need to review. But again, I think that I just had to think about that. Is that at that point, did he have again? There was no counsel. So I said,
Hmm.
what were you thinking? How would
What
you
was
give? How
going
would
on in
you?
your head? How happy were you that you just blotted? It's. I think it's also. It was not that it was just it was something said out of in his own personal devotion. He said it in front of every soldier present, and now his daughter, and he says, "For I have made a vow to the Lord, and I cannot take it back." Now let's bring it to the dispensation. See, I remember one of our talks where I was telling you about how I noticed that, oh my god, TV is a big distraction to me, and I said to the Lord, oh, of course, drastic, and I said, Lord, oh, I never want to watch a movie without my wife present anymore. But guess what? See, in the past few days, I watched the movie with my wife present, without my wife present, and I made that vow to the Lord. No, because I am in this dispensation of grace. Believe me, I did not die because he's out of this like God. I fear you too much to ever make such a vow. And this guy, oh my God, we should never take God's grace for granted. We should never, never, never take God's grace for granted. I think that was what was going on with Jephthah, just believing that. I think it was so elated, and he should have just thanked God and he just moved on. And he made that vow, and bless the god daughter too. Look at the response of the daughter. And she said, Father, if you have made a vow to the Lord, you must do to me what you have vowed. But the Lord has given you a great victory over your enemies, Ammonite. But first, let me do this one thing. Let me go up and roam in the hills and, and weep with my friends for 2 months because I will die a virgin. Why does this girl think? Why does this girl's grief is that she will die a virgin? Did was she already planning to get married before she died? She's not even thinking, I'm gonna die. She said, "But I would die a virgin." Or I think maybe that's to do with child. If she had a child or something, if she had given birth or something. Because I was like, "Oh my god, why is this one?" That's like me saying, no, not can happen to me now. I just got married. Then Jephthah says you may go. Then Joshua says you may go, and he sent her away for 2 months. She and her friend went to the hills and wept because she would never have children. When she returned home, her father kept the vow he had made, and she died a virgin. So it has becoming a custom in Israel for young Israelite women to go away for 4 days each year to lament the fate of Jephthah's daughter. Wow, even till now. To lament the fate of Jephthah's daughter. Now we see chapter 12. Ephraim fighting with Jephthah. You know the same Ephraim that came to Gideon. Then the people of Ephraim mobilized an army and crossed over the Jordan River to Zaphon. They sent this message to Jephthah. Why didn't you call for us to help you fight against the Ammonites? Like, what is your problem with calling them for help? Did they not see what was going on in the first place and offer our company to come actually offer this help? We are going to burn your house down with you in it. Jephthah replied, I summoned you at the beginning of the dispute, but you refused to come. You failed to help us in our struggle against Ammon. So when I realized you were incoming, I risked my life and went to battle without you. And the Lord gave me victory over the Ammonites. So why have you now come to fight me? The people of Ephraim responded, you men of Gilead are nothing more than fugitives from Ephraim and Manasseh. So Jephthah gathered all the men of Gilead and attacked the men of Ephraim and defeated them. Wow. Jephthah captured the shallow. So that's by the way. See, let's give our final thoughts on Jephthah. Jephthah, as I said earlier, Jephthah is a quite is a very short word, and it was a great warrior. Even no matter what deal is but no matter what his upbringing was, a man of courage that he challenged his status quo, and was able to become even the ruler of Israel, not minding his mother being a prostitute, and that went on to make a careless vow, a tragic vow, if I do say so. See, final thoughts on Jephthah.
Yeah. So for Jephthah is that again strong, physically weak. Um, but I say weak in actually just knowing the person of God is that irrespective. If there's something God yearns for us to know more, is actually to know Him and to know Christ, to really know Him. I think it's in John 17 where it says, um, John 17:1. I think Jesus was saying that, for this is eternal life, that you may know Him and the one whom He has sent. That's actually true eternal life. Is that true? We look at the word in different ways, and for Jephthah, one could see that this person was strong, and did know a good amount of the history of Israel, but didn't know the God of Israel. Even though the Spirit of the Lord had filled him, he still didn't know the God, because the God of Israel had never asked for a human sacrifice. But one thing we can one thing that we can rejoice in is that in Hebrews, you hear Jephthah being called Hebrews 11 among the heroes of faith. Because at the end it talks about, we've not even spoken of people like Gideon, Barak, Samson, Jephthah. All of these deeply flawed people were still mentioned in the Hall of Fame of Faith. So that's just the work of God, is that in those broken pieces, He's able to put them together and bring out this beautiful mosaic.
Yeah, awesome. For me, my final thoughts is gonna be, no matter what your upbringing is or what your status is, both in society or where you are coming from, the Lord is still able to use you. You can see Jephthah. Jephthah was someone that the town had written off. It was someone that there was. It didn't look like he was going to be a ruler. It didn't look like was going to make anything was going to come out of his life. So like he was in the streets, and all of a sudden we see him, due to his doggedness, to his courage, due to his personality, his tenacity. This man was able to make it to the palace. He was able to become the ruler of Israel, just because he did not accept the fate the world had given him. So, whatever situation we are, let's be like Jephthah. Let's strive on. Let's give it all we've got. Another thing I was seeing is courage takes you places. He's always spoke of Jephthah's mightiness. Look at the way he displayed himself in front of the kings of Ammon, of Moab, and the way he was questioning them, and we can tell this guy is a courageous person. The Bible says the Lord has not given us a spirit of fear, but that of power, love, and a sound mind. I know this guy was sound, debating them, letting them know, oh, Israel, this is actually Israel's land. You can just come and say you want to take it. The third thing I saw there was careless talks, careless speeches can cost us so much. The Bible does speak of bridling our tongue, innit? It's also the Bible that says where the word of the king is, there's power. Where the word of the king is power. And we know we are kings. We are kings, God has made us kings on this earth. So the things we say, seasoned with salt, we should not just speak carelessly. We should not just make vows carelessly. We should not just, even the Bible tells us, like, do not swear by God. Just let your yes be your yes. I swear to Jesus. I swear to this thing. Forget about all those things. Let your yes be your yes. The Bible tells us so. You do not have to swear by anybody. You do not have to swear by God. Just let your yes be your yes. I know concerning the vows, I think here that our vows to God should not be a purchase of the favor we desire, but to express gratitude to Him. And we need to be very well advised in making vows. Lest we entangle ourselves into what we don't even understand. So another thing is whatever we have solemnly vowed to God, we must do, no matter how difficult and how grievous. Jephthah made that vow to God, and he was able to deliver, even no matter how agonizing it will have been for him. Look at what the Bible says. The Bible said he tore his clothes, a ruler tearing his clothes. It speaks of the kind of predicament this guy was in. It was his one and only child. His vows, his careless talk cost him that. And I just pray we will not be in that situation in Jesus' name. Oh, thank you so much for actually joining us on Storyline today. Like I say, do follow us on Shishu Palace, on Instagram on Shishu Palace. Follow us on YouTube at Storyline Podcast. And you can also check us on every podcast directory. Check Apple, Google, or even Spotify, and lots of them. And you can leave us a review on Apple. Please do so, because by so doing, you're able to help us get Apple to recommend this podcast to other people and be a blessing to other people. And do you want to leave us want to chat with us, leave us a comment on social media at Trisha Palace Instagram, or on our website www.trishapalace.org. My name is Kofola Kadre, and I am saying thank you for listening. See.
Yeah, my name is Taiwa Kim, and thank you for joining in. Subscribe, press the button on our
Yeah,
podcast.
he's a subscriber.
Very
So
important.
please make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share, like, and turn on post notifications so you can know when we upload a new video. Thank you for joining us today. Bye for now.
Bye bye.
A big thanks to the media team for this production. And I want to say to you, thank you for watching Storyline today. If you want to get in touch or ask any questions, you can connect with us on IG at Social Palace, on Twitter also at Social Palace, and TikTok at Storyline Podcast. Or you can go leave us a WhatsApp message on our website at www.shriftsopalace.org, And also check the Storyline blog on Street to Palace. May the good Lord bless and keep you. Amen. Bye for now.